Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily Quiz for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 4th October today, and in this video we are going to derive prelims based questions from these important articles which were taken from the newspapers today. If you are the first time visitor of this channel, then let me introduce this initiative to you guys. Every day in this video we discuss three types of questions. The first set of questions are from the current affairs topics. Every day we take up the most important articles from the newspapers and we derive prelims based questions from these articles and give you the idea how the questions could come from the newspapers, how the questions could come from the current affairs, so that it will help you prepare well for your next year's prelims exam. And the another set of questions which we discuss is from the static topic, and today's static topic is fundamental rights, and in it we are going to discuss article 12 and article 13, put some light on it and derive prelims based question on that too. After discussing these current affairs topics and the fundamental rights, we will go to the last portion of our discussion, that is the previous year questions. In it we will discuss few questions from the previous year question book. We'll find out the ways and methods by which we can solve these questions and try to find out the way in which we can implement this knowledge in the next coming exam. So this is all about this initiative. I hope if you are watching this video, I hope you will watch it till the end. This may seem boring, but trust me, in this video we have discussed different types of questions which could be very much important for your next year's exam. So please watch the full video and also please note down these questions. It would be very much important and essential for you. When your exams would be near and you would want to revise your current affairs, at that time if you have these questions with you, it would definitely help you in revising the current affairs, as well as it will boost your confidence before entering the exam hall. So my sincere request to you guys is please do note down these questions or at least take the screenshot of these questions. So, and also please do subscribe the channel if you had not subscribed it yet, and share it with your friends so that they may get also benefit from this initiative. Now with this, let's have a look at the first topic which we have to discuss today. There was an important article in the newspaper. It talked about an obsession with the ranking is harming Indian universities. Right now India is following a different strategy. Indian universities are following different strategies. They want to have more PhD scholars in them. They want to have more researchers in them, rather than they are least concerned about the quality. Earlier, if we will look at the universities, there are two basic important criteria a university should fulfill. First, its teaching should be best and it should be able to provide the research. But over the time, earlier the universities used to get grants from the UCG and the government. At that time it was very much understood to the universities that they, whatever happens, they will get those grants and they would majorly focus on the teaching, they will majorly focus on the knowledge, they will majorly focus on the excellence. But after some time there was a change in the funding pattern of the universities. When the higher education financing agency came in, they would give loan to the universities, which the universities have to pay. And the criteria to get this loan, there was a criteria of ranking. If the universities are able to reach to that ranking, they will be given these loans, they will be given these grants. So for that there was a race for the ranking. All the universities try to achieve that ranking to get these finances, to get these grants or loans from this agency. So in this race, the universities has more focused on the rankings, rather than they had ignored the other stuff, other financing, other stuff like infrastructure of the college or university, teaching style, teaching patterns, all that they had ignored that, and they are majorly focused on the rankings. And the best way to get these rankings is to get more PhD scholars, to get more researchers. And there is one thing, researchers are very good, but the researches which the universities are, the papers which the universities are right now publishing, they are very much mediocre. They are just concentrated on these research papers, the bulk of research papers. When they get these bulk of research papers, they will get the good ranking. So that is the major reason that our universities, the the level of our universities has been dropping since various years. So here is a need that universities should understand that rankings is very much important for them. That is very much sure. But at the same time, they should not ignore the quality of teaching. They should not ignore the quality of the infrastructure. They should not ignore other important aspects which are related to the universities rather than going for the mediocre researches. So this is the thing which they should take into the consideration. So this is the this is the article which was in the news. This is the nutshell of that article. This is if we will say in short, this is what the article tries to say here. So with respect to this, we will form a prelims based question and get more idea about what this agency is which gives the finances to the universities. Then another article which was in news was about the why Italy matters to India. Actually, this article glorified the Italy's defense. It in a way was glorifying Italy, but we have to take few important points from it. We have to see how Italy is important for us, as we have recently we are both Italy and India. We both are looking for open and free Indo-Mediterranean. So our interests are very much coinciding in it. We both have common, common. We can say common restrictions. We both have common countries which are. We both have common approach towards the terrorism and all and curbing the China. So right now it is very much important for India and Italy to collaborate in it. So Italy has tried its many times. It has tried. It is trying to collaborate with India. For example, via its naval soft power. It is sending its ITS Francisco Morasini. It has visited Mumbai many times. We have defense relations. We had signed a defense agreement in October 2009, and in it, different, at Cochin shipyard, and they had sent their particular navy, their vehicles, navy vehicles, and all that stuff, which are very much relevant for the defense. And also, we have huge people contact between these two countries. It is said that Italy is the second most, largest Indian. In Italy, it is the second largest country in the European Union which hosts the most Indian diaspora. So Italy becomes very much important for us. The relationship which we can draw with Italy would be very much important for us, as Italy has understood that they have to shift their focus from the European Union to the other countries too, and they are focusing in building their relationship with India. So here, what becomes important for our prelims preparation is the location of Italy, our trade relations, our defense relations, and all that stuff which is related to it. So in the next slide, we'll form a prelims based question on Italy itself and get more idea about it. Then another article which was in the news is about the Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0. This is also one of the important mission. Earlier we have Swachh Bharat Mission 1, which was brought in 2014, and the main focus of it was open defecation free status. In Swachh Bharat 2.0, it basically focused on legacy landfills and dump yards. It was brought in 2021 to 2026. Here we have to understand what are these legacy waste dump sites, what they are. In our Right now we are residing in Delhi, and we have seen there are waste mountains which are very much which actually were built outside the outskirts of the Delhi itself, but because of the overpopulation in the Delhi, now they had come in direct contact with the population living there. So it has huge health impacts on the people living there. It has huge sanitary impacts and all, and also the right now this winters are coming in, and these plastic wastes, these legacy waste fields, dump yards, they will catch the fire, and they will start burning for 10 to 14 days, and this will also lead to the pollution in the Delhi. So what was the major focus of the Swachh Bharat 2.0? The idea was to do something about these garbages in the city, remove all these legacy dump sites out of it was estimated by it in 2014 that there are 2024 dump sites in our country, in which 471 sites have been touched, and and they had been removed in a way. They had been the initiation has started. Over 20% dump sites have been changed till now, and 27% has been reclaimed. 27% of the land has been reclaimed. But here we can see that only 20% of the some dump sites have been changed. So it does show that we are very much, this Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0, in it we are very much lacking behind, and there needs to be more focus on the on its work. It should focus on how to remove, as it is ending in 2026, as we had started from 2021 to 26. Only 2 years are left, and the space which we are going in right now is very much slow for it. So it is argued that if by this pace we will move in this direction, we will not reach anywhere. We will not be able to reclaim all the land which is under these legacy waste dump sites. So it is very important for our country to increase the speed in achieving the target of Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0. So with respect to this, we will solve a prelims based question and get more idea about that too. After that, there was another article in the news. It talked about the as the Union Cabinet has granted classical language status to more 5 languages. And what are these languages? It is Marathi, Prakrit, Pali, Assamese, and Bengali. So it becomes very much important for our prelims. We should know that what are the additional 5 languages, and what were the earlier languages which were added in the classical languages. They were Tamil, Sanskrit, Telugu, Karnataka, Malayalam, and Odia. Most of them were South Indian languages. So what is the criteria to get this classical language status? First it should have high antiquity. The history should be from 1500, at least from 1500 to 2000 years. And also it should contain a body of ancient literature text which is considered as a heritage by generations of speakers. Also knowledge texts, especially prose texts, in addition to poetry. And the classical language and literature could be distinct from its current form. This classical language and literature should be distinct from classical form. So these are some criteria which were put forward to add any language as a classical language. There had been some questions raised over the addition of Marathi and Bengali in the classical language, as these are very much modern history languages. So this is the question, but what we need to know is what are these languages which has been added. It is Marathi, Bengali, Prakrit, Pali, Assamese, and these only: Marathi, Prakrit, Pali, Assamese, and Bengali. These are the languages which has been added into the classical language, which has been given to the classical language status. Then the last article in today's about which is very important for your current affairs preparation is this news, which is UK to return Chagos Island to Mauritius. The process of decolonization actually started way back in way back after the World War II only, but there were various islands which were settled under the control of United Kingdom, the British. Now there were huge pressure on British from the Mauritius side and from the world itself that they should give this island back to the Mauritius, and finally UK is about to give this island back to Mauritius. So we should know where this island is located and how it can be important for India too. So this is all about the current affairs which were in the news. These are the articles related to the current affairs which were in the news. And after discussing these current affairs questions, we will go to the static topic. In it we will discuss article 12 and 13, and after discussing that static topic, we will solve a prelims based question on that article, and finally we will go to the last portion of our discussion, which is discussing previous year questions. So with this, let's move to the first question in the next slide and try to solve that. Here the question says, which of the following statements regarding the higher education financing agencies are correct? So we have to understand about higher education financing agency, as they are financing the universities with respect to the ranking they achieve. So let's get the information about HIFA. First statement: HIFA was established to enhance the quality of the higher education in India by providing financial support to educational institutions. 100% correct. Second, HIPAA provides funds exclusive to government-run universities and colleges. No, it also provides funds to the private-run universities and colleges. So statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 3, the agency is a joint initiative of the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with this statement. Statement 4, HIPAA's funding model encourages institutions to raise funds through bonds and repay them over time. 100% correct. So these are this is about this question. We had discussed it, and the correct answer to this question is option 1, option 3, and option 4. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option C. So with this, I hope you had got the basic idea behind this question. You had got the context behind this question, and also you had understood what HIPAA is about. Now with this, let's move to the another question. It is about the Italy. Let's try to understand more about Italy. The question says, which of the following countries share a land border with Italy? Is it France? 100% correct. Is it Austria? 100% correct. Is it Slovenia? Correct. Is it Switzerland? Correct. Is it Monaco? No, it is not. Even though Monaco is very much near to it, but Monaco is it is sharing its borders with France, so it is not correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1, statement 2, and statement 3, and statement 4 only. So the correct option would be option A. Why we had discussed this question? Because there was an article about India and Italy relations, how Italy can be important for us. So let's know where Italy is located, what are the borders, bordering countries to it. You know, UPSC has this habit, they will ask you questions like that. Now with this, let's move to the another here. It is about which of the following statements regarding the Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0 is are correct. The first statement, Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0 aims to promote sustainable sanitation and waste management practices in urban areas. 100% correct. Statement 2, the mission includes a focus on plastic waste management and ensuring solid waste management in cities. 100% correct. That is why it deals with these legacy waste dump sites. Its aim was to get these cities free from these legacy waste dump sites and shift them to anywhere else. The third statement, the program is exclusively funded by the central government without any contribution from the state governments. No, it is incorrect. It is funded from the central as well as the state governments. So statement 3 is incorrect. Coming to statement 4, Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0 seeks to ensure open defecation free status across rural areas only. Even though these open defecation free status is not the primary mandate of the Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0, but it tries to continue what we had brought in 2.1, tries to continue them. And its focus is not mainly in the rural areas as well as the focus areas. So statement 4 is also incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1 and statement 2, and from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. With this, let's move to the another question. It says, which of the following languages has been given the classical language status? Bengali correct, Marathi correct, Prakrit correct, Pali correct, Assamese correct, and Tamil we already have, Telugu we have, and other languages also. So with respect, as we had discussed earlier, with the different languages, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Sanskrit, and Odia, these were the, already those languages which already had the classical language status. Now 5 more were added, and they are Bengali, Marathi, Prakrit, Pali, and Assamese. So with respect to this question, the correct statement would be option E, that is all of the above. With this, let's move to the last question of today's discussion with respect to the current affairs here. It is about Chagos Island, recently seen in news, is located in which ocean or sea? Is it Pacific Ocean? No. Is it Red Sea? No. Mediterranean Sea? No. Is it Indian Ocean? 100% correct. It is located in the Indian Ocean. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option 4. Why Chagos Island is in today's question? Because UK is about to return this to Mauritius, as it was still under the control of UK. So with this, we had completed today's discussion with respect to the current affairs. We had solved these questions. I hope you had got the basic idea what was in the current affairs and how the questions would be framed from that. With this, let's move to today's static topic, which is fundamental rights. We had started with the Indian polity. We had discussed various laws and rights which were earlier brought in by British government when there was colonial era. And after that we saw that how constitution was enacted, what is the importance of preamble, what is why in article we have India and Bharat both as our names, why we had added that, how the UTs can be formed, how states can be formed. We discussed all that. After that we discussed the citizenship, and finally we are here with the fundamental rights. In fundamental rights we understood one thing: these rights are very much justiciable if they are restricted by the state or restricted by any private person. We can go to the court and ask for our justice. So these fundamental rights are guaranteed by the Supreme Court. But here, you know if we will go to Supreme Court, we will ask them that there is a government agency, or their state government is doing that, or you know parliament is doing that, or some executive is doing that to us. They had restricted our fundamental rights. So if we will go to this Supreme Court, or go to this Supreme Court about our complaint, for that we will add a term there, that is state. Here the Article 12 comes, it is the start of the fundamental rights. It defines that term state, which we will be mentioning in our complaints, which is mentioned many times in the fundamental rights too. So here, what does this article do? Article 12 do? It defines the state. It says the state includes. What does state include? It includes the government and the parliament of India. First, the government, it includes whether it is government and the parliament of India, whether it is government and the legislature of each of the states, they are included as a state, and all local or other authorities within the territory of India are under the control of the government of India. So all the authorities which are within the territory of India, whether they are under the control of the government or not, they come under the definition of this state. For example, tomorrow there is some private company that has done any injustice to you, that has restricted any fundamental right to you, as it is working in India, as it comes under the control of government of India, whether it comes under the control of government, you will go to the courts and said and the courts will say that this state term, it contain that? Yes, it definitely contains that. Now here a question could come to your mind, that in this term state, we include everything. Do we include courts in that? No, we cannot include courts in this term state. So state in the definition itself does not include the courts. So this was about Article 12. It talks about the definition of the state, what state is. So what does this contain state as? In Article 12 particularly, it says the government, the term state includes the government and the parliament of India, the government and the legislature of each of the state, and all local or other authorities within the territory of India or under the control of the government of India. They all are called states. They all come under the definition of state, but judiciary does not come under the definition of state. You cannot case the judiciary. You cannot case against. You cannot go against the Supreme Court itself. So this is about Article 12. Now here comes the Article 13. It contradiction with the fundamental rights. It talks about the contradiction with fundamental rights. In our country we had various religions, we have various customs, we have diversification, and we already have pre-independent laws. What does this Article 13 say? Those pre-constitutional laws which we had, or those customs which we follow, or those religious laws which we follow, if they contradict with the fundamental rights, those laws will be void. They will be called as void. They will not stand. They shall be void. So those laws, if any law which contradicts with the fundamental right, any pre-independent law, any custom law, any religious law, if that contradicts with the fundamental right, that would be termed as void. So here comes the concept of the doctrine of an eclipse. What is this doctrine of an eclipse? For example, there is some pre-independent law which is in the law books, and if it contradicts with the fundamental right, that law becomes void. But it does not mean that we have to remove that law from there, we delete that law from there. It stays there, but it is void. Its functionality is ended. But once these fundamental rights are amended, say if these fundamental rights are amended, and that law it is in is in line with those amended laws, then those laws will come to the life again. So here comes this is the concept of doctrine of eclipse. This doctrine of eclipse is actually drawn from the article 13 itself, that if any law which is contradictory to the fundamental right, that remains in the statute books, that remains in the law books, but it is in the sleeping mode, that does not, it is in the sleeping mode, it is in the eclipse mode. But once these laws come in line with the fundamental rights, they will come back to the life. So this is the doctrine of eclipse. And what does Article 13 say? It says that any law which contradicts, any pre-independent law, any pre-constitution law which contradicts with the fundamental rights, they become void. But one thing we should note here, that the constitutional amendment acts are not taken as laws; they are amendment acts. So if any constitutional amendment act, so they can come, and those constitutional amendment acts do not come under Article 13, under the scope of the Article 13. So this was about today's discussion. These were two important articles from the fundamental rights which we should know, and of this knowledge we should have about these articles. With this, let's move to the quiz part of from this discussion. Let's try to solve that. Here the question says, which of the following statements regarding Article 12 of the Indian Constitution are correct? The first statement, Article 12 defines the term state for the purpose of Part 3 of the Constitution, which deals with the fundamental rights. 100% correct. Under Article 12, the term state includes the government and parliament of India, as well as the government and legislature of each state. 100% correct. 3. Article 12 also extends the definition of state to include local authorities and other statutory bodies. Correct. 4. The provision of Article 12 apply only, this is the catch here, only apply only to the actions of the central government and not to the state government. This is totally incorrect. It applies, the provisions of Article 12 applies to both the action, applies to all the actions of the central as well as state government, even also to those agencies which are not part of the government. It applies to everybody who comes under this scope of the state, under the scope of the definition of the state. So statement 4 is incorrect. With respect to this question, the correct statement would be option 1, that's 1, 2 and 3 only. So with this, I hope you had understood today's current affairs also. You had understood today's static topic also. Now with this, let's move to the last part of our discussion, which is solving the previous year questions. Here the first question is, it says a London branch of All India Muslim League was established in 1908 under the presidency of Aga Khan, Sayyid Amir Ali, Liaquat Ali or Muhammad Ali Jinnah. It is Sayyid Amir Ali. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option B. Now coming to the last question of today's discussion, it says, who among the following was the president of All India States People's Conference in 1939? Is it Jaya Prakash Narayan? No. Is it Sheikh Abdullah? No. Is it Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel? No. Is it Jawaharlal Nehru? 100% correct. So with this, we complete today's discussion with the previous year questions too. We need to understand these questions. It becomes very much important for us. It gives us idea how deep we should go while we are preparing for our exams. So with this, I hope you had understood today's discussion. Please do subscribe the channel and share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.